It's June 11th, 1997. The United Center in Chicago is packed. The air feels heavy, the tension unbearable. Michael Jordan walks onto the court, but he looks weak, pale, almost fragile. He's sweating before the game even starts. The truth, he's battling the flu. High fever, exhaustion, barely able to stand. For any other player, that's a night off. For Michael Jordan, it's an opportunity to prove what greatness truly means. What followed is now called the flu game, minus 38 points, a heroic performance, and a moment etched in sports history. But here's the crazy part. This very same man, the icon who redefined basketball, was once told in high school that he wasn't good enough, that he didn't have the talent to make the varsity team. So, how does a rejected teenager turn into the most unstoppable force the game has ever seen? This is the rise of Michael Jordan. And today, we're not just telling the story. We're uncovering the mentality that made him the GOAT. Michael Jordan is more than an athlete. He is a global icon, a living symbol of excellence, and proof that greatness isn't something you're simply born with. It's something you build, brick by brick, setback by setback, until the world has no choice but to call you unstoppable. His story isn't just about basketball. It's about life. It's about every single one of us who has ever been told that we're not good enough, that our dreams are too big, that our goals are out of reach. Think about it. We've all faced rejection. We've all failed at something we cared about. Most of us let those moments define us, crush us, or make us give up. But Michael Jordan didn't. When life said no, he answered back with relentless work, insane discipline, and a mindset so sharp it cut through every obstacle in front of him. He transformed rejection into motivation, failure into lessons, and setbacks into setups for an even greater comeback. This video isn't just a timeline of his career. It has a deep dive into the mentality that turned a skinny teenager from North Carolina into the greatest basketball player the world has ever seen. From the heartbreak of being cut from his high school team, to the glory of hitting championship-winning shots, to the resilience of returning after personal tragedy. Jordan's journey is a masterclass in what it takes to rise above the noise. By the end of the story, ULL realized that Jordan's secret wasn't just in his athletic gifts, it was in his obsession, his preparation, and his absolute refusal to quit. And that mentality, that's something you can apply to your own life. Whether you're chasing a career, building a business, or just trying to be the best version of yourself, Michael Jordan's rise is a blueprint for turning setbacks into greatness. Welcome to the Mentality series, where we don't just celebrate legends, we learn from them. Chapter 1. The Early Rejection. Let's rewind to 1978. Wilmington, North Carolina. A skinny teenager named Michael Jeffrey Jordan has one dream: to dominate the basketball court. But when he tried out for the varsity team at Laney High School, he didn't make it. The coach picked other players, taller and stronger, including Jordan's friend Leroy Smith. Imagine being 15 years old, watching your friends walk onto the varsity court while you're stuck in junior. Varsity! Humiliating! Crushing! But here's the key. Jordan didn't sulk. He turned that pain into fuel. He would wake up before school to practice. He'd play pickup games until dark, he once said. Whenever I was working out and got tired and figured I ought to stop, I had to close my eyes and see that list in the locker room without my name on it. That usually got me going again. This was the birth of his obsession. The idea that failure is not the end. It's the beginning. And that's lesson number 1 for us. When life rejects you, don't stop. Double down. Let rejection sharpen your hunger. Chapter 2. College grind at UNC. By the time Jordan arrived at the University of North Carolina, he wasn't just a player. He was a force in the making. Dean Smith, his legendary coach, described him as the most competitive player I've ever coached. But even here, Jordan wasn't the star right away. As a freshman in 1982, surrounded by more experienced players, he had to earn every single minute on the court. Then came the NCAA championship game. UNC versus Georgetown. Score tied. 17 seconds left. The ball swings to Jordan, a freshman in the biggest game of his life. He rises up, takes the shot. Swish! UNC wins the national title. That one shot changed everything. Suddenly, Jordan wasn't just a promising kid. He was Michael Jordan. But here's the real takeaway. He didn't just trust talent. He trusted preparation. Jordan practiced so much that when the spotlight hit, he wasn't scared. He was ready. Lesson. Confidence is built in the shadows long before the spotlight finds you. Chapter 3. Entering the NBA, 1984. The Chicago Bulls draft Michael Jordan with the 3rd overall pick. Right from the start, he was electric. Rookie season, 28.2 points per game. Rookie of the year. Overnight, he became a superstar. Fans filled arenas just to see him play. His dunks, his speed, his fire. He made basketball entertainment. Nike saw the potential and launched Air Jordans. Boom. A star was born. But success brings challenges. In the late 80s, Jordan faced his toughest opponents, the Detroit Pistons. The Bad Boys. They created the infamous Jordan rules. A brutal strategy. Hit him, push him, wear him down physically. It worked! For a while, the Pistons knocked Jordan out of the playoffs 3 years in a row. Most players would accept defeat. But Jordan, he transformed his body. Hit the weight room, built muscle, came back stronger, and in 1991, he finally beat the Pistons. The lesson? Don't avoid your obstacles! Outwork them! Outgrow them. Outlast them! Chapter 4. The championship era from 1991 to 1993. Jordan and the Bulls dominated 3 straight NBA championships. A dynasty in the making. But what made Jordan unstoppable wasn't just skill. It was his obsession. Teammates said he'd turn practice scrimmages into wars. If you slacked, he'd call you out. If you beat him once, he'd beat you 10 times. One story goes that after losing a ping pong match, Jordan bought his own table, trained non-stop, and came back weeks later just to win. That's how deep his competitive fire ran. Phil Jackson, his coach, described him as an artist who never stopped perfecting his craft. But then came tragedy. In 1993, Jordan's father, James, was murdered. Devastated, Michael retired from basketball and tried baseball. To honor his dad's dream, the world thought it was over. But Michael Jordan was never done. Chapter 5, Comeback! Legacy and the Last Shot, March 18, 1995. AFAX goes out with just 2 words. I'm back. Jordan returned to the NBA, and after a short adjustment, he led the Bulls to another era of dominance. 3 more championships from 1996 to 1998. The highlight, June 14th, 1998, Game 6 of the NBA Finals. 5.2 seconds left. Jordan steals the ball, dribbles up, crosses Byron Russell, pulls up, and nails the jumper. The last shot. Bulls win their 6th title. Jordan walks away a legend. Think about it. From rejected teenager to 6-time NBA champion to the global icon who defined an era. Jordan wasn't perfect. He lost, he failed, he struggled, but every single time, he came back stronger. And that's lesson number 3. Greatness isn't about never falling. It's about rising every single time. Michael Jordan's story is far more than the tale of a great athlete. It is the story of a man who was told no again and again, and who chose to answer that word with relentless dedication and unshakable belief. From the pain of being cut from his high school team, to the pressure of a freshman hitting the game-winning shot in the NCAA Finals, to the humiliation of being beaten down by the Detroit Pistons, Jordan's life is proof that greatness is never given. It is earned through sweat, sacrifice, and an unbreakable mindset. What makes Jordan's rise so inspiring is not that he always won, but that he refused to stay down when he lost. He failed thousands of times. He missed shots. He had nights where the pressure broke him, moments where tragedy struck and grief pulled him away from the game. And yet, every single time, he came back stronger. That's what separates him from the rest. Not just the highlights, the dunks, or the championships, but the mentality that every setback was simply fuel for his next success. When you look at Michael Jordan, you don't just see a basketball player, you see a mirror reflecting what's possible when rejection becomes motivation, when preparation builds confidence, and when resilience turns comebacks into legends. His life is the ultimate reminder that the path to greatness isn't a straight line. It's a road filled with obstacles, heartbreak, and failure. And yet, if you refuse to quit, if you keep showing up, if you keep pushing harder than anyone else, that road will lead you to places you once thought were impossible. So the next time life knocks you down, remember Jordan. Remember that behind every GOAT is a kid who was once told he wasn't enough. Remember that your failures don't define you. Your response does. Because your setbacks, they're not the end of your story. They are the setup for your greatest comeback. That is the rise of Michael Jordan. From rejection to GOAT. Conclusion: Michael Jordan's rise is more than a sports story. It's a life story. From rejection in high school to dominance in college, to humiliation by the Pistons, to the flu game in the last shot. Jordan's journey is proof that setbacks are setups for greatness. The 3 lessons we take from his rise. 1. Rejection can be your greatest motivation. 2. Preparation builds unshakable confidence. 3. True greatness is about the comebacks, not just the victories. So the next time you face failure, remember Michael Jordan. Remember that behind every GOAT story is a kid who was once told he was not good enough. And remember this: your setbacks are not your ending. They are the setup for your comeback. That's the rise of Michael Jordan. From rejection to GOAT. If this story gave you chills, you're officially part of the Mentality series. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and comment your favorite Michael Jordan moment below. And remember, if you don't subscribe, MJ might show up in your dreams and dunk on your alarm clock. Don't risk it!